Hello everyone, my name is Cam. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the very first pay-per-view predictions of 2023. And it happens to be one of my very favorite pay-per-views of the entire calendar year for WWE, and that is the Royal Rumble. I'm going to say this right now, if you are... Sorry, my cat keeps bumping into the tripod. If you are looking to get into wrestling and you're maybe kind of new to it and you're not super sure about everything, I would highly suggest watching this pay-per-view. It's very easy to follow. Especially the Royal Rumble match itself is extremely easy to follow. And yeah, very, very enjoyable pay-per-view. I highly suggest it for anyone who's new. Dude, Daddy, go. Who's new to wrestling to watch this pay-per-view, as you're probably going to have the easiest time following along and probably the most enjoyable time as well. Sorry, I can't tell if it's crooked or not. It looks kind of off, but then again, it always looks off to me. So, starting with a couple things. Now, normally, Jesse and I don't really do kind of like surprise things, but it's the Royal Rumble. Surprises are kind of part of the game. So we have a men's and women's surprise entrant prediction. We both kind of went for like Mickie James, Chelsea Green as like kind of the female representative for the surprise entrant. I think we kind of talked, obviously Chelsea Green has already signed a contract back with WWE. That's a known thing already, that she's re-signed to WWE and is just kind of waiting for her re-debut. And a lot of people think it's going to be happening at the Rumble, which makes a lot of sense. It is kind of besides like the Raw after Mania, this is kind of the time where a lot of people tend to return or pop up as like surprises and stuff like that. And I definitely think Chelsea Green is a big possibility. Mickie James could also be another big possibility to pop up during this Rumble. And it was something Jesse and I talked about a lot in the last like 2 weeks or so. We've been kind of like, okay, who do you think's gonna be a surprise entrant? And yeah, they're people that kind of make sense. For the men's side of things, we have a couple as well. Most notably Matt Cardona, who is also rumored to have re-signed with WWE. He has been doing a lot more stuff with Impact recently, and I think he's even been on the weekly show for Impact this week. But again, it's not like it'd be that shocking for him to pop back up. WWE was where he spent his career for a very, very long time, and sorry about that. And a lot of people do think that he also is either about to re-sign or has already re-signed, and is just closing out dates with Impact. For a few reasons. One, he's been teasing it like crazy that he's going to pop up here, which granted could just be him fucking around. Wouldn't really surprise me if he's just kind of joking around and doing that. But I also wouldn't be very surprised if he did show up. And it's good. And I say Matt Cardona and not Zack Ryder because he has stated if he comes back, it will not be as Zack Ryder. It will be as Matt Cardona, which I'm completely fine with. I love the Matt Cardona character. I love the Zack Ryder character as well. It's actually one of my favorite professional wrestling characters of all time. He did say he'd love to do a cinematic match where it's Matt Cardona versus Zack Ryder, which I kind of really, really like the idea of that, and it'd be really cool. Second surprise entrant we have for the men's, we do think there's going to be a couple more surprises. Carlito's probably a very possible chance of popping up because there's been rumors he'd be coming back at some point too. Surprise entrant number 2, though, we have the Great Muta, as he's on kind of like a big retirement tour right now. If you guys don't know, he did just wrestle at Wrestle Kingdom 17 in a winning effort with Hiroshi Tanahashi and I can't remember who the other I can't remember what his name was. Shada Umino, I think that's, I don't know how it's pronounced, but I believe that's who it was. I think he's Red Shoe's son, the referee in New Japan. Jesse and I we watched Wrestle Kingdom Night 1. We're going to be watching New Year's Dash and Wrestle Kingdom Night 2 probably Tuesday to get caught up on New Japan stuff. It's very enjoyable for us to watch. But yeah, Great Muta is on a big retirement tour right now. He actually had a match in Pro Wrestling Noah against Shinsuke Nakamura this year. It was his last match in Pro Wrestling Noah was against Shinsuke Nakamura. So a lot of people think kind of as like the return on that favor, they're probably going to have him back or bring him into WWE for the first time ever. So he has done something in WWE, and he'll probably be getting a Hall of Fame nomination in WWE, even though he's done nothing in WWE, but he's done a lot for the business and for the sport. Another person I could definitely see potentially getting a Hall of Fame induction, because WWE doesn't seem to really be focusing on just people who've done stuff in their company now, at least with Triple H's regard. Could be potentially Jay Briscoe. I think he could potentially get a nomination at some point, because honestly, I think he does deserve it. He's a fantastic wrestler, and he's gone way too soon. But yeah, Great Muta is definitely the person we think, another person we think is very possible. I would love it. I think Great Muta is awesome, whether he's under the mask or not. He's a fantastic wrestler, and yeah, I would absolutely love to see him show up tonight during the Rumble. And finally, the other surprise entrant we think might pop up is Jay White. Now, before anyone says, "Oh, but he's still contracted to New Japan. He's still got 2 more." To be fair, Carl Anderson was on Wrestle Kingdom 17, and he's contracted to WWE. So, if you guys don't know the story, Carl Anderson came back to WWE late last year as the never open weight champion in New Japan still, and he had a date that coincided with the show in Saudi Arabia, so he couldn't go to that one. He ended up doing 2 New Japan dates after that, and one of them was Wrestle Kingdom 17, dropping the never open weight championship to Tama Tonga. And we know that Jay White still has 2 more dates to close out with New Japan. He has February 11th, which is a loser leaves Japan match against Hikuleo, which is another person WWE is very interested in. So that match is people are very not sure where that match is going to go. We don't know if it's going to be Jay White losing or if it's going to be Hikuleo losing, because they both have interest from WWE. And the second date is February 18th against Eddie Kingston at Battle in the Valley, the show in San Jose or Los Angeles, one of the two. I can't remember for sure. Where I think it's San Jose. But I could very well see them kind of getting Jay White on like a, if the deal has kind of already been figured out between WWE and New Japan, I could see them getting Jay White for a surprise entrance here, closing out his dates in New Japan, and then signing a deal with WWE, especially because Triple H does want to have a working relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I think this is a perfect way to kind of bridge into that, not only having Carl Anderson there, having Shinsuke and Pro Wrestling Noah, and also having Jay White be able to still fill out contractually obligated dates in New Japan after technically debuting in WWE. I would absolutely love it. There's a long list of dream matches I can see happening if Jay White does come to WWE, and I'm very, very interested in seeing if he does show up tonight, and if he doesn't, if he does show up soon in WWE. A couple years ago, it was rumored that he had a contract. I think last year it was rumored he was contracted until 2025. He then later denied that. He said, "No, I'm not contracted until 2025. AEW did not reach out to me with an offer or anything like that." So it's very possible. It is pretty well known now that his contract is coming to an end soon, and if he decides not to resign, he has kind of insinuated he wants to be in America. So there's a very good chance that we'll be seeing Jay White in WWE very soon, and I'm kind of excited for that idea. All right, and now we have a match that isn't confirmed, but there's a possibility of it, a possible Raw and or SmackDown tag team title match, or for both titles, between the Usos and some challenger. Jesse and I have both gone for the Usos on this one. We don't really, there's no confirmation this is going to happen. It's just, there's only 5 matches on this card right now. It feels kind of bare bones to only have 5 matches going into the Rumble. Now, granted, the Rumble is a very long pay-per-view because there are 2 matches with 30 fucking people. So it kind of makes sense that there's a little bit less on the card, but it still doesn't feel right to have less than like 6 matches on a card for a pay-per-view, especially. So I'm thinking there might be a tag team title match on here. It's possible, but it's not like super, oh, this is definitely going to happen sort of thing. But if it does, we have both sides, the Usos, to retain whatever titles they may be defending, if at all. And if only one, yeah, we don't really see them losing the titles here. We do know that obviously it is well known now that they do want to split the tag team titles apart, and not have them be one on one team at anymore. Obviously because they had the Raw tag team title match against Judgment Day this past Monday on Raw's 30, and they have currently a SmackDown tag team title tournament going on to find the number 1 contenders to face them. And yeah, it's very, very likely that by Mania the titles will be split again, with Raw having its own titles and SmackDown having its own titles again, which arguably is the best course of action. Next, we have the Raw Women's Championship match. Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss. Jesse and I have both gone for Bianca Belair. I like Alexa Bliss. Jesse likes Alexa Bliss. She's fantastic in the ring. But I don't see her taking the title off of Bianca. I think Bianca's got a couple more months at least as champion. Ready to go. Maybe a big upset victory from somebody at oh, that feels nice. At Mania, but right now I don't really see there being much chance of her losing it here. Not that Alexa isn't fantastic and isn't a great champion when she is champion. It's just, I don't know. It feels like it's not the person to be taking the title off of her. On that note, I do want to say if there's a potential SmackDown Women's Championship match, Charlotte. Like, we'll both just say Charlotte. It's not very likely she's going to lose the title before Mania. Next, we have the Pitch Black match. LA Knight versus Bray Wyatt. We've both gone for Bray Wyatt. Technically, he actually forgot to do this when I asked him for predictions. But it's not that hard to realize Jesse and I are both going to go for Wyatt. I love this feud so far. LA Knight is doing fantastic character work. And I'm glad when Triple H took over, he decided, yeah, no, whatever Vince was doing with you in this model bullshit is done. And yeah, very, very nice to have him actually doing something good right now. Next, we have the women's 30-person, the 30-woman Rumble. We have Rhea Ripley we have Rhea Ripley for my prediction and Shayna Baszler for Jesse's prediction. The big likelihood is Rhea Ripley winning this. That's kind of who has the biggest odds right now. And I mean, when you look at the field currently, there's 12 women announced for the women's Rumble, or there's 12 people announced for the women's Rumble and 19 for the men's. So it leaves 18 people as surprise entrants for the women's Rumble, which gives a lot of leeway and a lot of room to have surprise debuts from NXT, surprise entrants from independents and stuff like that, and people and legends, which has always kind of been the way with the women's Rumble. There's not nearly as many women for them to kind of have declare for this as there is with the men's Rumble. I really wish they'd stop doing a huge amount with the men's Rumble and kind of have it be more of a surprise for a lot of them. But yeah, a big thing is I don't tend to try to like focus on what the odds are and 100% base my decisions on that. But when looking at the rest of the women that are currently announced for this match, besides like Shayna Baszler, obviously, I don't really see anybody else who's really got like maybe Bayley to start kind of closing out. I think that'd make it the women, the horsewomen that are still in WWE, that would make it to where all three of them have won the Rumble at some point. So it could very well be Bayley as well. Shayna is also a very good choice by Jesse. She's a fantastic in-ring competitor. I could definitely see her being the person to not only win the Rumble, but then also potentially take the title off of Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, as I don't think she's going to go against Charlotte. I know there's been a lot of rumor of her and Ronda going into the tag division, but I really don't foresee Ronda and her being tag champs at all. And honestly, I'd rather Ronda just go. I'm tired of her being in the company. Next, we have the men's Royal Rumble, and this is going to surprise nobody. Cody Rhodes for both of us. Yeah, it's clear cut at this point. Cody Rhodes is winning the Rumble. It's going to upset a lot of Sami Zayn fans. And personally, I would love to see Sami win, but I absolutely love the run Cody was on when he came back, and I'm very upset that he had to take any time off because of an injury, especially an injury that was so severe. But the fact that he'll be returning at the Rumble, and I really wish they wouldn't have spoiled that surprise, but it makes you think, okay, there's going to be a massive surprise during the Rumble. Jay White. I didn't say anything. But yeah, I'm very excited to see this Rumble, and not only to see Cody win, but to see him probably take the title off of Roman at Mania. It's such an insane thing. As somebody who's been a Cody fan for a very long time, and before I says, "Oh, you bullshit," I've been a Cody fan since he brought back the original Intercontinental. Actually, before that, honestly, I was a fan of him in the Legacy days. I've always been a huge Cody Rhodes fan, and when he got changed to Stardust, it kind of really upset me. It kind of pissed me off. Um, he did some good stuff at Stardust, but honestly, I'm glad to see him back as Cody Rhodes, and I'm glad to see him getting a lot of the respect I think he deserves. I'm very excited for this match. I'm very excited to see the surprises, and yeah, very excited to see where this story goes, and I'm very excited to see where the Sami Zayn story goes. Speaking of the Sami Zayn story, finally we have the WWE Universal Championship match thing, undisputed bullshit. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. We've both gone for Reigns. We don't know how it's gonna happen, but somehow Sami's gonna screw Kevin out of the title, and I don't know, man. I'm. It's hard to see where the storyline's going at this point. The rumor of Sami and Kevin taking the titles off of the Usos is still kind of there, but it's really kind of like, well, what if Sami took a title off of Roman? But apparently Triple H and Vince both don't see Sami as the face of the company. I think Sami even himself has said he doesn't really see himself as the face of the company. Whatever reasons he may have for that are his own. I think he'd do great as world champion. I don't think it'd be a super long title reign. It doesn't need to be a super long title reign. Just him having it would be cool. But yeah, I don't know where the story's going with Sami, and I'm excited to kind of see this match. It closes out Kevin and Roman's trilogy of Rumble matches. I believe if whoever wins this is up 2-1, by the way, for those of you wondering. The first one happened back when Kevin was Universal Champion and was with Chris Jericho in that whole tag team thing. And Chris basically screwed Roman out of it. The last one was when Roman started his reign. It was like right at the start of his really long reign that he's in still. When they had the last man standing match or whatever, and there was the handcuff shenanigan bullshit. I think that was that match. It's blending together, man. There's a lot of matches between the two of them. But yeah, and Roman cheated to win. They had the issue with unlocking the handcuff and stuff like that. It was a very dumb match. But yeah, so I'm very excited to see this close out, and I'm excited to see where the storyline goes. It has been my favorite storyline going forward in WWE. I will say, I think the number 1 and 2 spots need to be Cody and Seth for the Rumble. Those two, I think, have the best chance of doing the Shawn and British Bulldog thing, where they're the last two, with Cody winning it last second, basically, kind of saving himself from the match. Do I think that means we'll get a shorter Rumble? Probably not. They'll probably do a lot of Cody and Seth rolling out to kind of save their energy, sort of thing. I would like to personally see them both go the distance and Cody end up winning it. But let me know what your guys' predictions are down in the comments below. I'll see you all in the next video. Stay golden. Peace.